If your child is planning to study in the US or already in America on F1, OPT, or H1B, this video is important. For many Indian families, the old formula was simple. Study in the US, get OPT, try for H1B, and eventually apply for a green card. But that formula is becoming much riskier. Imagine spending 1.5 to 2 crores on your child's US education, assuming that after graduation, a job, H1B, and a green card will naturally follow. But then your child faces the H1B lottery, employer sponsorship issues, and a green card wait that may stretch for decades. That is why education planning and immigration planning cannot be separate anymore. A US degree can open doors, but it cannot guarantee your child's US future. The US immigration landscape has changed. It is now affecting student visas, H-1B visas, green cards, adjustment of status, investor immigration, and how visa officers evaluate applicants. In this video, let us look at the top 5 changes in the US immigration landscape under the Trump administration and what they mean for Indian families, students, professionals, and investors. Some changes are already visible in the enforcement. Some are policy trends, and some are proposals that are not yet law. But together, they show one clear direction. America is not close. It is becoming more selective. First, US immigration is moving from access to filtering. Earlier, the question was, does this person qualify for a visa? Now, the question is broader. Should this person be allowed to enter, stay, work, or settle in the United States? Visa officers and immigration agencies are looking more closely at intent, background, financial strength, online presence, public charge risk, national security concerns, and overall credibility. A visa application is no longer just forms and documents. Every application must tell a clear story. Why are you going? Who is funding you? What is your long-term plan? Are your documents consistent? For Indian families, the visa process cannot be treated as a routine paperwork anymore. 2. Student visas are under greater scrutiny. For many Indian families, the US student route has always been seen as the first step towards settlement. But that pathway is no longer as dependable as it once seemed. This is a mistake many families make. They plan the university, tuition fees, accommodation, loan, and funding. But they do not plan what happens after graduation. Parents must understand one point clearly. A US degree is valuable, but it is not an immigration plan. F1 is temporary, OPT is temporary, STEM OPT is temporary, and H1B is uncertain. If the objective is long-term US settlement, planning must begin before the child leaves India, not after graduation. H1B is becoming more expensive, selective, and politically unstable. For decades, H1B has been the most important US work visa route for Indian talent. But now, H1B is facing pressure from multiple sides. First, the US has proposed higher prevailing wage requirements. In simple terms, companies sponsoring foreign workers may have to pay much higher salaries than before. Reported examples suggest that H-1B salary thresholds could rise sharply in major US job markets. In some cases, nearly 30% higher than the current benchmarks. Now think about this from the employer's point of view. Why sponsor a foreign worker when salary, legal costs, compliance burden, and visa uncertainty are all rising? Fresh graduates may be hit hardest because if the salary threshold becomes too high, employers may reserve H-1B only for senior, highly paid, business-critical roles. Second, the H-1B cap selection process has now moved from a purely random lottery to weight-based selection model. This means higher paid applications get better chance, while low paid applications may see reduced chances. Third, H-1B has become a political battleground. A new bill has proposed major H-1B restrictions, including a possible 3-year pause on H-1B visas. This is only a proposal, not a law, but it shows the direction of debate in Washington. The point is simple. H-1B is now a political risk. So if your family is counting only on H-1B, Understand this clearly. H1B is not a dependable plan. It is a lottery, and a lottery should not be the foundation of your US future. 4. Green card planning is becoming more difficult. For Indian nationals, the green card problem is not new, but it is becoming more serious. Many Indians believe that once they get H1B, the green card will eventually happen. But the employment-based green card backlog for India remains extremely long. A person may study in the US, get OPT, get H1B, and even have an employer sponsor them. But the actual green card can still take many years. For many Indian professionals moving from H1B to employment-based green card, some estimates suggest the wait could stretch beyond 100 years. That is not just a delay, that is practically a lifetime of waiting for a green card. Many families think H1B means stability, but for Indian nationals, H1B may only keep you working temporarily while permanent residency remains stuck in a long queue. Do not confuse temporary status with permanent security. F1 is not security, OPT is not security, H1B is not security. Even a job is not necessarily security. A green card strategy requires timing, documentation, visa availability, lawful status, and a clear plan. And finally, investor and high-value immigration pathways are becoming more important. This is especially important for HNIs, business owners, and globally mobile families. The US may be stricter on many forms of immigration, but it is still interested in people who bring value through skills, capital, business, entrepreneurship, or investment. EB-5 remains one of the key US immigration options for family who want a structured route to a green card through investment. But EB-5 should never be presented as a shortcut or guarantee. It requires source of funds documentation, project selection, job creation, timing, compliance, and risk assessment. For the right family, EB-5 can be part of broader US strategy, especially when the family does not want the child's future to depend only on OPT, H1B, employer sponsorship, or decades-long backlogs. The US immigration system is becoming more selective, but it is still open to people who can demonstrate value. Indian families must stop asking, which visa can I get? The better question is, what is my long-term US strategy? Hope is not enough. A good university is not enough. A good job is not enough. Even H1B may not be enough. You need timing, documentation, the right pathway, and most importantly, a backup plan. If your child is planning for the US, ask yourself today, are we planning only the education or are we planning the entire settlement journey? At Acquest Advisors, we help families look at US immigration as a long-term strategy, not just a visa application. The goal is security, optionality, and freedom for your family's future. If your family is planning US education, H1B, EB-5, or long-term settlement in the US, speak to our team before you make any major decisions. Book a consultation with us and let us help you build a clear, structured strategy for your American dream. Because in today's changing immigration landscape, the right planning can make all the difference.